All right, moving on to our quick hitters. Arky, what are you looking at for your quick hitter?
Hey, speaking of the Chiefs and the number 1 seed, the Titans are also double-digit favorites on the road at the Texans this week. And I definitely know where your heart is leaning towards. But if somehow Kansas City bungles it up against the Broncos in a divisional matchup at the end of the season, then the Titans don't really have to do nearly as much or really anything to be able to get the number 1 seed. Actually, if you look at it, there's a scenario where the Patriots and the Bengals, if those two things happen ahead of them, could also get the number 1 seed. So it should be motivation to play this game. Yeah, it is. It's a log jam up at the top of the AFC. So what I like about this game is the rematch factor of this game and what it means to the Titans. The Titans obviously have a chance to get that number 1 seed, just clinch it, no questions asked, with just a win. But are they 10 points better than the Texans? The question's simple, but not easy. Because Davis Mills, when you look at how he's played since he's been the starting quarterback, he's actually been a pretty steady and good force for the Texans. He completes about 67% of his passes, doesn't make a whole bunch of mistakes. He's someone that actually keeps that team between the lines, so to speak, and gives them a chance. You've seen them have a couple of wins you didn't expect them to have recently. But I do feel better the fact that I got to see them get punched in the mouth by San Francisco and their backup quarterback last week. Because the Texans beat the Titans last time they played, but that was a Titans team that threw it 52 times with Ryan Tannehill. That ain't happening this week. The Titans run. They are the most prolific rushing attack this offseason, or the season, I should say, and the Texans are giving up the most rushing yards this season and the second most rushing touchdowns allowed. And despite Derrick Henry not being back quite yet, he looks like he's back at practice, but I don't expect him to play. They won't need him against the Texans. So I think the fact that you get the revenge, you got the motivation for the number 1 seed. I think you have Ryan Tannehill not having to be captain hero. You have A.J. Brown and Julio Jones healthy for this game. I think this all spells for a Titans' big victory. Their offense isn't explosive, but I could see them winning by 13 points in this game. So for that reason, give me the Titans to shatter your dreams on Sunday afternoon and cover the 10 in Houston.
How rude. I would never say that about your Cowboys.
Get to the Super Bowl and we might.
Okay, I was going to ask. So Derrick Henry is practicing, yes, but not expected to play.
Well, that's not really been sort of said, but I wouldn't expect it. They don't need him. If they can get, first of all, if the Chiefs lose, then they don't have to worry about it. They'll get the number 1 seed likely, and then they can. But they can win this game without him. Derrick Henry, they could use a couple extra weeks for him to get even healthier and get ready for their second round matchup.
Right, save him for the playoffs. That makes more sense.
I think they can.
All right. I am also going to be sticking to the NFL. Got your Cowboys, Arky, 11-5, 6-2 on the road, visiting those division rivals Eagles, who are 9-7, 3-4 at home. We get to see these two NFC rivals go at it again. Both teams having already punched their ticket to the playoffs, sitting in first and second in the NFC East, respectively. Dallas right now is the 6.5-point favorite with the total at 42.5. This line has already moved even this morning after it was announced that Cowboys star rookie Micah Parsons was placed on the COVID list. Not great for the Cowboys. The Cowboys were on a 4-game win streak before the Cardinals put an end to that one Sunday in a 25-22 loss at Jerry's World. The Eagles are looking to pick up their 5th straight win and could very well do it at home on Sunday. Yes, another Saturday game. The last time these two met, it was September 27th in a 41-21 win, again from Arlington. As far as any playoff implications, Dallas is likely not going to move from their current 4th seed. However, there are a few crazy scenarios in which the Cowboys win, plus a few other things happen. They could end up in the 3rd and even 2nd seed. But again, highly unlikely because that would require a lot of moving parts. Aren't the playoffs fun? Despite this game not having a lot to do with their current seed, Jerry Jones made it clear that the starters will be playing on Saturday because, quote, "We plan to play to win." Meanwhile, the Eagles are rumored to be resting their starters, and while yes, Jerry Jones did say the Cowboys will not be, he's also not the coach, so no telling what Mike McCarthy will do come game time. Or is he the coach? It's hard to tell sometimes. Basically, if the player is healthy, expect them to play for the Cowboys, but we may not see someone like an Ezekiel Elliott, who's been pretty banged up throughout the season. So what needs to happen for Dallas? Well, they need to remember they have one of the best offenses in the country and get their confidence back before heading into the playoffs. They have the number 1 scoring offense and the number 2 total offense in the NFL, yet the Cardinals held them to 22 points and 301 total yards last weekend. Luckily, they'll be able to get a true playoff test with this Eagles defense on Saturday. And speaking of that defense, they have not allowed more than 20 points in a game since week 11 and no more than 350 yards since week 9. Hello. That is why they are ranked 8th in points allowed per game and 6th in yards allowed per game. But again, this is when both teams are playing at full strength, so who knows which players will be taking the field in Philly, which is why betting this one is also going to be fun. And now for those trends, Dallas is 12-4 against the spread this season and are 4-2 in their 6 games when they are favored by 7 or more. On the other side, the Eagles are 9-7 against the spread and 1-1 when going in as the 7-point dogs. Philly has exceeded this total of 42.5 in 11 of their 16 games in 3 of their last 5, while the Cowboys have done it in 12 games this season, including 4 of their last 5 games. So, needless to say, you'd probably be okay taking the over here of 42.5. I think based on what we know, Dallas will get it done from Lincoln Financial Field. I think they'll get their groove back, and I will be taking them at -6.5. You're welcome, Arky. And yeah, give me the over 2 to make it fun, even though we don't know who's playing. Eagles probably aren't going to be putting out their starters, but let's have some fun. Give me the over.
I think it'll be interesting to see how strong the commitment is to the game for the Cowboys. I don't think you want to be limping to it with a 2-game losing streak into the playoffs the next week.
Right. It would not great for team morale.
Yeah, it would be nice. If nothing else, like you give full effort, and if that does happen to get you a little short, then yeah, you can sort of live with that. But I don't think you would want to be resting a bunch of guys and limping on a 2-game losing streak going into the playoffs, because I've seen this happen with the Cowboys before. That ain't a recipe for success.